Sarcasm Speaks. It's Jared and Bob here. This is, I think this is the first, it's not really a solo episode, but I think this is the first duet episode we've had in a while. I feel like we've had,
I think Jones has been in the last three.
Yeah. And then before that, we had Chris. And
that's
then,
right.
Yeah. So here we are. It's just the two of us and Leo. I can't ignore Leo. You can see him over Bob's shoulder in the YouTube video.
Yeah, just looking like a rug.
Yeah, he's
probably staring at the head cover of himself. Which I gotta go over there. So if you're on the YouTube show, you can see a dog head cover in the corner, and it's a Labradoodle.
Did you get that? Fine. I didn't know if my headphones would reach.
It was a gift. From. So now yours looks more like a golden doodle because it's got longer hair.
Right.
This one's more curly.
Right.
It actually looks a ton like Sammy. The family does Secret Santa, and Michaela's cousin had me, so I think it was the head cover and a book about smoking hog or whatnot.
Yeah, and also cooking.
It also has some instructions for cooking food.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's funny. So now I got sidetracked. I don't know where I was going with any of that, but
I don't think we were starting with anything. It was just Leo was over my shoulder.
Yeah. Well, speaking of golf, we can start with this. Golf is back this week. So technically golf kind of has been back since like October.
Technically golf doesn't leave. They take 1 week off.
Yeah. But real golf is back. This is the first real event every year. I mean, sometimes you get some names at like the Zozo in like December or like November.
Yeah, Zozo's a the Zozo is a like invitational or limited field type thing.
Yeah.
And they might be able to pay appearance fees. That might not be true anymore.
Yeah.
But
like other than the Zozo and like obviously there's the PNC, which everyone loves every year now, especially because Charlie Woods is old enough to smoke balls.
Yeah. How many times? How many have they won? Oh, that's right.
No. Yeah. 0 actually. Yeah.
Hey.
Who won this year? VJ?
Yeah, VJ Singh and his son. It's like fuck off.
And then John Daly won last year.
John Jr. is nasty though.
Yeah. Isn't he playing at Oklahoma State?
No, he's Arkansas.
That's where it was. I know it was one of those like Midwest. No, that's not Midwest. Like Southern,
South.
I guess. Yeah, it's the South.
Legit South, SEC country.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Tiger and Charlie have won 0. But maybe next year. But once Charlie gets a little bit older, maybe he'll carry his old man.
So here's the only thing though. Charlie Woods might not be very good.
Yeah,
and that can be a hot take. That can be whatever you want it to be. He in his age group, he is not like the top. So
yeah,
take that for what it is with him. Now I understand like his father is who his father is. There's a story there. Listen, he is good at golf, but I'm talking like within his peer group in a national level.
Right.
I don't think he's that good.
Yeah.
Or not like he might be like top 30 for his age group.
Right. But
it ain't top 2, top 3.
Right.
Now he has time.
Tiger was top 2 when he was fucking
2.
Yeah. Since he was like 6 years old.
Might have been the Michael Douglas show. Not sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. They had him on. He was literally like 6 years old.
No, I think he was 2. That's why I said, I'm pretty sure he was 2. That's why I said it.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, but.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you run into that a lot with these guys, right? Like Michael Jordan's son Everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's Michael Jordan's son," and he ended up not being very good. I don't think Wayne Gretzky didn't even have a son, right? He only has a daughter. Did he just have Paulina?
Not sure.
If he does, clearly he wasn't good enough for anyone to know who the fuck he is. Like all of these like all-time greats, like when they have their kids, everyone's like, "Oh, it's Tiger's kid." It's
like Bronny.
Yeah, it's LeBron's kid. It's like, okay, like
no one's gonna be as good as these people.
There very, very few times is there an instance where the son is better than the dad. Like off the top of my head, it's like Barry Bonds and Ken Griffey Jr. And like, that's just, those are just two off the top of my head. Like if I stopped and thought about it, I might be able to come up with some other ones, but like, other than Barry Bonds and Ken Griffey Jr., like find me a son that was better than their dad that played professional sports.
And that's the thing, is like a lot of times it's the son of like a Hall of Famer, or the son of,
that's the other thing too. It's
so like
the son of
Jerry Rice's son plays at USC.
Right.
And he had a very good whatever the fuck game that they play. And lost to Tulane. So whatever game they were in, Cheez-It Bowl, Citrus Bowl, who cares?
Yeah, doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. Cotton Bowl. He had a very nice game, and I think he is like a fine college player.
Yeah,
but his father was the best of all time. Like,
right.
There hasn't not been another Jerry Rice since Jerry Rice.
Yeah,
and it sure as shit ain't gonna be his kid that does it.
Right.
It
that's a good caveat, because even Bonds and Griffey Jr.,
their fathers weren't
their dads
good.
weren't Hall of Fame caliber, right? Like they played.
Yeah, did Bobby? Listen, they were good, but they weren't like. You can come in. She's retrieving him.
Retrieving the retriever.
Yeah, he does have Labrador retriever.
Yeah.
By technicality. They're never gonna, like, that's the thing, is like if Randy Moss has a kid that comes through, like he ain't gonna be Randy Moss.
Yeah, well, he does. Thaddeus Moss. He's not that good.
Oh, that's right. He already came through.
Yeah, he's a tight end.
I forgot. That's how good his son was.
Yeah.
His son
they put him at tight end.
Good that I forgot that he even existed on the best college team potentially of all time. I could argue 2013 Florida State or 2001 Miami.
Yeah, definitely top five greatest college teams. Yeah.
I think it's top three.
Top three greatest college team of all time. Yeah, for sure.
And I might be biased, but I don't think that's a fair. I definitely don't have the national championship plaque on my wall. No bias here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then it's even harder in golf, where you can only measure two previous golfers' performance. So let's use Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman's father, senior, running back, played for the Bucks. I don't know what other teams. Fine NFL starter for multiple years.
Right.
Michael Pittman Jr., decent receiver for the Colts. They play different positions, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Arch Manning is not Peyton Manning's son. It's his nephew.
Right.
His father was a receiver.
Right.
Maybe. Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, plays quarterback. He ain't a D-back.
Right.
Because he would never be his father.
Right.
So that's when, like, so take away Hall of Fame. It's got to be either a different discipline or a different position, or like J.C. Horn's a D-back. His father was a receiver.
Yeah. Yep.
Like that's
there's the one that just sticks out to me is Asante Samuel Jr.
They're both corners.
And they both appear to, well, I mean, obviously Asante Samuel Sr. was very good, and Jr. has only been in the league for 2 years, but he appears to be pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I'd actually be interested to see how he is, because when he was at Florida State, he was a little bit of hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like his good was good and his bad was like, what?
Yikes. Like yikes bad. Yeah.
Well, it was just like, how did you make both of those plays?
Yeah.
Like, how'd you make that first one and give up that second one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can pump the brakes on Charlie, and it's like, I think he's only 13 years old. So it's
He
like
is.
the fawning over a 13-year-old that might just be above average for his age group. I think we're good here.
Right.
Never mind.
I mean,
it's like his father's the real story. It's not his son. No one gives a fuck about his kid.
I think it's probably pretty close to the Dale Earnhardt situation.
Where everyone wanted Junior to be his father.
Yes.
And he was never going to be.
Correct.
He never could.
And then you had, obviously, Dale Sr. died. So then Dale Jr. was just anointed as the next guy, right? And obviously Tiger didn't die, but Tiger has fucked up his body 6 ways to Sunday. And everyone is just kind of like, oh, it's Charlie. Like, you know, Tiger literally almost lost his leg fucking 2 years ago. Like, and now it's like, oh, it's Charlie. It's, you know, Tiger's washed up. He's all fucked up. His body's destroyed. Between the car accident realistically was just the cherry on top, right? He had what, 9 back surgeries, a fucking 3 ACL surgeries. Like his body was fucked before the car accident. So, you know, it is what it is there, but I think the Earnhardt situation is probably the closest thing we have to the Woods situation, right? Where like,
plus they do the same
they're forcing
thing.
it,
and they do the same thing. So it's like,
correct.
You're measured by how fast you drive that car.
Yeah.
Whereas like, if Jerry Rice's son was for some reason massive and a D tackle, it's like, well, you're measured by clogging lanes, and the other one's measured by how many passes he caught. And it's like, thank God it can be different.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's probably one of the closer things there. But anyway, that's a long way around to saying that golf is back. And we have the Sentry Tournament of Champions that starts this week. Actually, it starts the day this comes out. So if you're listening to this, there's a good chance there's golf on. If you're like Chris, if you're like Sexy Chris, and you listen to this, you know, in the middle of the night because that's your work schedule when golf this drops at midnight, it won't be on anytime soon. But it will be on.
Oh, because it's in Hawaii. What's the time difference?
They're 5 hours behind.
5 behind. So Thursday prime time is the first round.
Yeah, so
prime time-ish.
So right now
they'll start teeing off at like 1 p.m.
It's Tuesday at 7:45. It is 2:45 in Hawaii right now.
Yeah,
so they're 5 hours behind.
Like first tee off should be like 1 p.m. our time.
Yeah,
7 a.m. their time.
Ish. Yeah, so we're gonna get some late night golf.
It's just too bad that it's on during football because I don't care. Dude, it's also a 39-person field.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Again, say what you will. I'm happy that the PGA Tour has made the changes that they made, because now I think Live can do its thing and the PGA Tour can do its thing, and pick one. We're at war. So,
right.
PGA Tour, you change some things. Credit to you. Live, you do what you want to do. Fine. Don't care. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what Billy Horschel has to say or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like for all the limited field and no cut and all this bullshit, but like no one will say anything about this. It's 39 guys.
Yep.
You're gonna tell me that that's a real fucking event? Like, you fucking serious?
No, it's a great event because it's only guys that won on tour last year or placed in the top 30 in,
because Cam Young's playing.
Right. So they did expand it a little bit this year. This is the first year they've done that. It used to only be guys that won on tour the previous year, and now it's if you finish in the top 30 in the FedEx points.
There was a COVID issue too. It might have been the last it was either the 2021 event or the 2022 event. They changed the criteria. So like Harris English won I think it was Harris English.
Yes.
If it wasn't him. Okay. So he won that event. He did not win the previous season.
Right.
So
yeah.
But that was because a lot of tournaments got canceled for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to fill their fields. So, if there's normally 40 events, you might get 36, 35 guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's a fucking hit and giggle, whatever.
Right.
Did I play that at Kapalua?
I did. That's where I was getting to.
That's the one they play at Kapalua, right?
Oh, yes. It is.
And then
Kapalua.
the next one they play at Waialae?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that's also what I was getting to. The reason why I am excited for this weekend's tournament.
Good product placement in the corner, too.
It's right there. Yeah. I played there.
Fucking guy goes to Hawaii once.
Yeah. So I played this course. Obviously, I didn't play from the same tees that these guys are going to play from. But I played this exact course. I shot a 96 there. From the resort tees, not from anything near where these guys are playing. But I would go as far to say it almost kind of, I'm not that it doesn't matter, but it kind of doesn't matter because they say, I've heard forever, right? Like I've been following golf for years now, and you always, when they talk about this tournament, they're like, oh, it's Kapalua. Like, it's long, but it's wide. And from a guy that played there, it is fucking wide. I hit some not great shots off the tee, and I was still in the fairway. Like it was
never ends.
It was pretty fucking crazy. It's a great course. It's a phenomenal course. It's easily the best course I've ever played on in my entire life. It's beautiful. The scenery was incredible. Like it's fucking Hawaii, so everything is great there. But like the course was great. It wasn't like ridiculously difficult where I was like, I hate golf, but it wasn't like a cakewalk either. Like I said, I shot a 96. Like I almost put up 100. Whereas like by the end of last season, I was, consistently right around that 88 to 92 range if I would play 18. But so it is obviously a little bit more difficult, but there is some length. There is some length to it. Again, I played the resort tees, but here, I think I still have the scorecard. I do have the scorecard. So I played from 6,100 yards. So, not the longest thing in the world, but decent length. These guys, they play the tour length from 7,600 yards.
That's 1,500 more yards.
That's pretty fucking long. I think I saw somewhere
100 yards every hole.
That this is either the number 1 or the number 2 course on the tour schedule as far as length. It's top 2 in length.
Well, it's also a 73.
Right. Yeah, it is a par 73. But then the other thing there, obviously, like I had previously stated, the fairways are fucking massive. Like there's one hole.
They just stand up there and bomb it.
There's one hole. I forget now which one it is, but it's like it's almost like a dual fairway. Like there's 2 fairways side by side, and then like there's like a strip of rough and like maybe a bunker in the middle of it. But it's like 2 normally full-sized fairways. And then in between it, there's probably like 15 yards of rough. So it's like this thing's literally, you can land a fucking plane in this fairway. That's really 2 fairways. So it's cool. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it again because I've been there. I played that course. It's going to be really cool to watch these guys play it. And then obviously I have to make the insufferable fucking comments of, that's not what I shot from there.
Great.
I wouldn't make that. I wouldn't pull that club from there.
Oh, it's not how I'd play it.
Yeah, it's not how I'd play it, but whatever. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Amy's actually pumped for it too, because she obviously was on the course with me when I played. So it's going to be cool to watch it and to see everything. How did I went, oh, that's right. So I had a tough time with the rental clubs at first. But I went 52-44. So I shot a 52 on the front and a 44 on the back to end with a 96. Obviously played significantly better on the back. I made 2 pars and seven bogeys on the back. So once I figured out those rental clubs, but good stuff. Like I said, Kapalua, the plantation course, Sentry Tournament of Champions. And with that, I want to toss out there that I have some picks for this tournament as well, because golf is back, and that's what we do here. So thank you to mybookie.com. You can use the promo code SarcasmPod when you first sign up with MyBookie, and they will double your first deposit up to $1,000. All you got to do is just type in that code and SarcasmPod. And if you deposit 500, they give you 500 for free. So enjoy that. But I have a few picks here. Again, it's a small field. There's only 39 guys in it. I don't know if it's because of the small field or because it's
if it's only previous winners, there's like 40 tournaments.
Yeah.
Scheffler won 4.
Yeah. Oh, no. What I was going to say is, I don't know if it's the small field or if it's because it's Tuesday. But MyBookie didn't have any top 10 odds listed or top 5
it's
odds.
Too early. Tomorrow it should be out.
Yeah, so I might dabble with some top 5s or some top 10s too. The top 20 probably isn't going to have any odds that are worth anything in a 39-man field, like
of all good players.
Yeah, exactly. So here's my picks here. So I went Justin Thomas at plus 1125. So that's 11 and a quarter to 1, basically, if you want to do your odds that way.
Ooh, I like that. Put him down for me too.
Yeah, so he's obviously he plays really well. He's won here in 2020 and 2018.
He's won twice.
2017. He won 2020 and 2017. So that's this course, right? So this course, it's long and it's wide. So what you want to look for is guys that hit the ball far and that make good approach shots. Putting, the greens aren't super. So there's some undulation there, and there's a few greens that are like, they have the grades and the slants and undulations and shit like that. But like, they weren't super fast. Now, also, I say that when I played there,
you played there.
When I played there, they weren't super fast. But traditionally, like, putting isn't huge on this course anyway, because isn't it Bermuda? And then, or whatever it is, it's whatever grass it is the one that's like kind of slower, that kind of like evens out putting for people. I've read about it yesterday.
I think generally speaking, putting on Bermuda is just more up to variance and chance.
Yes, that's what I was getting.
It's less consistent, less predictable.
So the guys that are your good putters, like Billy Horschel, whatever advantage he might have in a week putting, like he doesn't really have that this week. So putting, you not that you can throw it out the window, but like you don't have to pay too much attention to it. So the big things here are length off the tee and then approach to the green, right? Those are your two big things that I looked at. So Justin Thomas, he can do both of those. Again, at plus 1125. Next, I have Colin Morikawa at 20 to 1. So he's arguably the best iron player in the game. I mean, he was the best iron player in the game in 2021. He struggled a little bit last season, but he's still one of the best. So he's not super long off the tee, but like he's not short either. You know, he's not
I think he's extremely average.
Yeah, he's extremely average, but you know, he's a fantastic iron player. So if he can, you know, have his approach shots land within 25 feet of the pin, I like his odds there. I like him at 20-1. Next on my list. So the next two guys I have are slightly longer odds. Well, one of them is really close to Colin Morikawa, but technically they are both longer than my first two. And they completely follow what I said about hit the ball far and then hit it good into the green. So Cam Young is my next pick at 21-1 odds. He is an absolute fucking bomber. He mashes the ball. So I have his stats here. Actually, I lost them. My page refreshed. So he is 23rd on tour in driving distance this year so far. So I think it includes a little bit of last year too. And he averages just over 312 yards off the tee. Now, in a normal weekly tournament, when you look at that, you then next on the list is driving accuracy, which is 55.5%, which is good for 166th on tour. So he absolutely nukes the ball, but he doesn't hit it straight, right? And he misses a lot of fairways. However, see my previous statement about the world's largest fucking fairways. I don't think that matters at Kapalua. I think him not being able to hit fairways on a normal course, that's a problem for a normal course. This is not. These fairways are fucking huge. Like I said, I hit some bad shots off the tee and still was in the fairway. So I'm not worried about Cam Young here. So I'll take his, 312 yard driving average and him, his strokes gained approach. He's third on tour. He gains 1.43 strokes on an approaching the green this season so far. So pretty fucking good there. So I like Cam Young. Hits the ball far and is really good on his approach. And he's 21-1. And then along similar lines, the last guy that I have is Aaron Wise at 38-1. So basically rinse and repeat here with Cam Young. He hits the ball really fucking far. He's good with his irons, but he might not be the most accurate guy. But again, those whatever penalties these guys are going to have from missing the fairway and being in the rough, it's not the same. It's not the same at Kapalua. So I'm not worried about those guys. So I like Aaron Wise there, 38-1. So quick recap. I got Justin Thomas plus 1125, and then Colin Morikawa at 20-1. So that's plus 2,000. However, if you want me to be consistent here, Cam Young is plus 2,100 or 21-1, and then Aaron Wise is plus 3,800 or 38-1. So those are my 4 picks for this weekend.
So I don't have any picks. I don't have any breakdowns. Generally, I don't do this until football's over. The most mispriced person on this list is Sam Burns at 26-1. He should not be 26-1 when Finau is 14, Hovland's 19, Sung J M is 18, and Matthew Fitzpatrick is 20. So if you're looking for a value bet, it's Sam Burns is significantly better than those guys, and I'm not.
I thought about going with Sam Burns too, but I wanted to just pick 4. I mean, like I said, it's only Tuesday.
Well, you could end up picking.
I might fire off another one.
Well, the other thing too is because it's a stronger field. I would not take Rahm. I would not take Scheffler. Those numbers are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Even Cantlay and Schauffele, 10-1 for those guys. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Are they that much more likely than fucking Finau?
Right. No.
And I think Finau's still too high. Like those guys strike me as like more like a 14, and then Finau should be more like a 22. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe people just like him because he hits the ball far.
Yeah.
Sam Burns at 26 that's funny. Because I think
he won 4 times on tour last year?
3 in a playoff or 3 total.
Yeah.
Like Sam Burns is the only thing that concerns me about Sam Burns, he doesn't really like golf that much. So like in the off season, like he just fucking hunts deer and shit. So it's like, has he even looked at his golf clubs? I have no idea.
Right.
And is he going to be fucking shit faced the whole time? No clue.
Yeah, he's going to be enjoying Hawaii.
But like that's not a handicap. Like
right. Yeah.
So I think the most incorrect number on this board is Sam Burns 26.
Yeah, and like I said, I did like that, and I almost went. I still might go with Sam Burns too. I might just pick 5. But
Billy Horschel's the biggest sucker bet on there.
Oh yeah,
he's 54 to 1. People are gonna look at that and be like, oh, he shouldn't be 54 to 1.
Oh, Billy Horschel 54.
That's
yeah,
because he's not gonna win.
He's not gonna win. Has he? No, he's never won here. So I mean,
he should have played there a few times because he's won events.
Yeah. I mean, historically, JT has won twice. Schauffele won in 2019. So just going back from Cam Smith last year, it was Harris English, JT, Schauffele, DJ, JT, Spieth, Patrick Reed, Zach Johnson, DJ, and then after that, that's 2013. So that's 10 years. So it doesn't really matter past that.
No roars either. Probably, you know what? I bet the driver for roars. It neutralized it because he's so good with the driver, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So there's your golf talk. Golf is back. I said I will be watching. I'll be recording it too. I'll probably have to watch, on off hours and get caught up. Because if they, well, no, I don't know. We'll see. I'm still gonna record it anyway. But if they tee off at like 1 p.m. our time, they'll be done by 6, 7.
But our time, that's not when it'll be televised. It'll be televised starting at like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, you can probably get it, stream. You can stream it at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. It might even be later. It might be like legit prime time. I just don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember either. I feel like we did get prime time.
That's because I don't watch this event though.
Yeah. So what is it? Next week they go to Wailea?
Yeah.
Which is in Oahu. So the guys get a nice 2-week vacation in Hawaii.
Yeah, a lot of them don't take it though. They don't play the Sentry.
Yeah. All right, what else we got going on here?
The Sony.
Yeah, the Sony. The Sony is the other one. Oh, to keep it on a golf track here. Did you see the Scott Stallings? What happened with Scott Stallings?
How does Augusta National? With everything that goes on there. How the fuck do they send an invitation to the wrong fucking person?
Yeah. Yeah, so for anyone that has no idea what's going on, Scott Stallings, actually a local guy. Isn't he from like Worcester?
He was born here.
Yeah.
He grew up in Tennessee.
He grew up in Tennessee, yeah. He's also a Noble athlete. Noble is based out of Boston. So Scott Stallings, the only guy from Massachusetts with a Southern accent. He lives in Georgia now, and the Masters, right? Augusta National sent the yearly like invitation package of like all the shit that they send, whatever in your box, whatever you get when you open it up. They sent it to one Scott Stallings that lives in whatever part of Georgia that he lives in, which is potentially the same as Golf Scott Stallings. And the guy that they sent it to wasn't the guy on the PGA Tour. They sent it to Scott Stallings that lives, I would imagine, potentially in the same county. They have the same, their wives have the same name. And they just sent it to some random fucking jabroni who lives in Georgia, whose name is also Scott Stallings. And this guy sent a message to PGA Tour, Scott Stallings, and goes, "Hey man, my name's also Scott Stallings. And I think I got your invitation package for the Masters." And like sends this whole big long thing. "I would love to send it to you, like, you know, whatever, like, let me know." And he sends pictures of everything in the kit. And he goes, "I promise you, I'm not joking. Like, I really want to give this to you." And PGA Tour, Scott Stallings, posted this on social media. And, you know, obviously that's all you needed to do. That was the spark, right? So social media ran with it, and all the guys are tweeting about it, from, you know, the Foreplay Pod to No Laying Up to PGA memes. Like all these accounts are all, you know, they're going nuts with it, which I think is hilarious. But I saw Lou Stagner posted and or he tweeted on Twitter, because that's what you do. You tweet on Twitter. He goes, "If anyone ever, or if Augusta sent me the wrong package for someone else, I 1000% don't say anything to anybody and just show up ready to play."
Yeah, get your practice rounds.
Yeah. And I read that and I was like, I feel like that's the right response, right? Like, you just show up at Augusta and be like, "Yeah, I'm here to play."
You know what though? Would not go that way.
No, they're not going to let you in. They're going to be like, "Okay, cool. We sent that to the wrong person. Thanks for being a dickhead and not sending it to who it belongs to."
Yeah.
But it's a funny situation. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, so I guess allegedly, and I don't know if this is true, because I don't think it works that way. Scott Stallings said he'll invite him to a practice round in April.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Only problem is he can't do that. A member has to do it.
Right.
So maybe a member is doing them a solid. That's the only way.
Yeah. I feel like in that situation,
you either need to be a previous champ to invite people, or you need to be a member.
Yeah. Like, I feel like in that situation, like, that's got to be worth like hey, you can come to a practice round at least, right? Like, they did him a solid.
No, they were going to let him. So he was going to play like a round at Augusta National, not just get tickets to attend.
Oh shit! Oh, they're
like Scott Stallings is going to have him as his guest.
Oh damn!
Which he can't. I don't think, again, he can't do that without a member.
Right. Wow. See, that would be pretty cool. I had thought like at least he should get a couple tickets, like, to go watch, right? Like, if they send him the wrong thing and he gets his stuff to Scott Stallings, it's on the internet, social media has fun with it. Like, at that point, it's like, "Hey man, here's a couple tickets." So
yeah,
like,
at least,
right? Like,
a couple grounds passes.
Yeah. Here, even like I said, even if it's just tickets for, you know, during the week, like, here's a pass that's good from Tuesday to Friday, right? Like, go nuts. You know, so that's really cool. Like, I know you said that he technically can't do that, but if they do pull it off, that's pretty fucking cool that he gets to play.
It just takes a member to. That's the thing. You need a member. It just can't be.
Yeah, we got to start spending time around Condoleezza Rice.
Yeah, or Peyton Manning.
Yeah. What else we got? Oh shit. Well, I guess this could potentially be older news by Thursday, but obviously last night we had the fucking insane football game. Did you see that live? Like, were you watching it?
No.
So
I haven't been watching primetime games because I'm going to fall asleep.
Yeah. It was pretty fucking crazy. I saw it live, but then obviously I saw like the million replays of it. And that was fucking terrifying. I obviously have never seen anything like that. They did, they had the fucking round table at ESPN headquarters or wherever they were with what's his dick, Booger and Schefter and I don't know, whoever the woman was.
Was Susie Colbert?
Yeah, I think so. Because I know Lisa Salters was the sideline reporter for ESPN. But so yeah, it was them three in the studio. And Adam Schefter even said it. He was like, I've been involved in some way covering the NFL since 1990. And I've never seen anything like this before. So obviously in the 33 years that Schefter has been around, he hasn't seen anything like this, but it was pretty fucking terrifying, right? Like to see, at first it's like, someone gets fucked up, they fall to the ground, ambulance comes on the field. It's routine, right? It happens, right? That happens semi frequently, where someone gets hurt so badly they have to be taken out in an ambulance. Like that's not unheard of in the NFL. But what made it so wild was like the delay, and both teams were cleared off their benches and they were on the field surrounding this guy, Demar Hamlin, and like the camera couldn't get a view.
That's
to
probably
him, which
why
is
they did that.
a good thing, right? But when the cameras did like look that way, guys on both teams were like visibly like bawling their eyes out. Like at one point they caught Stephon Diggs and his face was soaked. Like he couldn't stop crying. Josh Allen was crying. Joe Burrow was crying. Like guys on both teams. Like it was nuts. And come to find out, like obviously we find out as things are going, they had been performing CPR on this kid in the middle of the field. So for 9 minutes, he was getting CPR. So that's a big deal, right? Like I said, guy goes down on the field, ambulance comes on the field. It happens. It happens in football, right? It's a violent game. But what was nuts was both teams flooding the field and then CPR on a guy for 9 minutes trying to get him to fucking stay alive.
Yeah, that was, and that's what did it for me, because I saw the hit and I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
All right, he's concussed, something like that.
Yeah, my immediate thought was concussion.
And when they said they were performing CPR, I was like, okay, that's not good.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then, Leslie Chow was commenting and just basically saying, like, the hit to the chest caused a heart issue.
Yeah.
And then people in the comments are like, oh, commotio cordis ? And I looked up what that was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this kid might be dead.
Yeah.
Like, because blunt trauma to the chest
right,
can stop the heart permanently.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. All right. That's I got nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just hope the fucking kid's alive.
Yeah. He's a kid. He's 24 years old. So then obviously you have all the fucking morons on Twitter that go on and whatever. And I don't even want to really spend that much time talking about them other than saying that they're fucking morons and they're trying to make everything about them. But they have just stupid bullshit to say. Like you said, it was the commotio cordis or commotio chorus, however the fuck you say it. It happens. It's extremely rare, but it's what happens when you receive blunt trauma to the chest at like a very specific point of the heartbeat, right? So with the heartbeat, if you ever seen it on, fucking TV or a heart monitor or whatever, there's like the PQRST wave. It's at some point, I think it's between the Q and the R portion of the heartbeat. If there's trauma between the Q and the R peak, that can induce commotio cordis. So it's literally a freak. When you talk about freak accident, it is a freak accident. When you think about like how long it takes for one heartbeat cycle to happen, it's like a second, right? And now you talk about a guy that's running on the field. So his heart rate is probably 120, 130. That means like you have 130 beats per minute, which means that now that 1 second is even shorter. And you have to hit between the Q and the R wave of that one. Like the odds of it happening are fucking astronomical, but like it doesn't mean it's impossible. And that is quite literally a freak accident. And you just hope he's okay. It's happened in sports before. It's happened in baseball. It's happened, I guess it happens pretty frequently in soccer, because guys take balls to the chest. So, it not pretty frequently, but it happens more frequently than in soccer than in other sports. It used to be a legitimate problem in lacrosse, what I found out. And years ago, they actually had to change lacrosse pads to be thicker in the center in order to help stop that, because guys were literally fucking die if they took a shot to the chest. So, I mean, in lacrosse, these balls are fucking solid rubber, and some of these guys can shoot. I mean, even high school kids can shoot the ball like 100 miles an hour. So, the professionals can shoot, 120, 130. Like you get that. And I know I've been hit. I played defense in high school. I got hit with plenty of fucking lacrosse balls in my day, and it hurts. So, the most, it happens in hockey. I think the most recent time it's happened was 1998. It actually happened to Chris Pronger. I saw someone posted the video of it on Twitter. I don't know for sure if it's the most recent, but it was just a video that someone had posted that said, hey, this exact same thing happened to Chris Pronger in 1998, where I forget what team he was on at that point. I don't think it was Pittsburgh, but it was, I don't know,
Blues.
Whoever else he played. Yeah, it could have been the Blues. But so again, same thing happened. He dropped on the ice. He got medical attention. He was out for a few weeks, but I don't know if he came back at all that season, but they said he played another 12 years after that. So it's really a person to person thing. It depends, right? Like you don't know, right? Because you see all these people on Twitter talk about, the issue with receiving CPR for 9 minutes is not so much the body, really, because your heart technically is kind of beating. That's the whole purpose of CPR, but it's your brain, because your brain hasn't received a ton of oxygen. You do have enough oxygen in your body to last you, I think it's roughly like 12 minutes, which is why a lot of sanctioning bodies have switched to hands only CPR. Like they've changed it so many times over the years. It was 30-2, and then it was 15-2, and then it was 30-2 again, and now it's just hands only CPR. But the reason they did that is because they kind of figured out that you have about 12 minutes of oxygen in your blood if you perform CPR. But it is what it is there, I guess. You just hope that he's not fucking brain dead.
I just watched the Chris Pronger play. Took a puck to the chest.
Yeah. Same thing. Started to skate away and then just collapsed.
Yep. So,
like I said, he played for 12 more years after that. So, this kid could be fine, or, unfortunately, sadly, he could not be fine. We don't know, right? No one knows yet. So the weird thing about that is, what this does to the rest of the NFL as far as the playoff picture, which there was a lot of people were flipping out just because people love to flip out. People tried to cancel Skip Bayless because Skip made a comment about it. And it's like, yeah, the timing was probably poor, but he's not wrong, right? Like, and in the tweet too, he was like, obviously the only thing that matters right now is Demar Hamlin and his health. However, like, they have to play the game, basically, is what he said. So at this point, it doesn't look like they're going to play the game.
So I guess they don't have to.
Right. So, no one really knows what they're going to do, but I was listening to Felger and Maz, shout out to 98.5 The Sports Hub, on my way home from work today. And Jim Murray made a really good point that the game Sunday, like, the Pats are supposed to play in Buffalo on Sunday. There's a very real chance that game doesn't happen. There's a real chance that Buffalo kind of looks at it and says, fuck it, we'll forfeit both games. We don't care. Like, give the Bengals the win, give the Pats the win. It doesn't matter. We'll go into the playoffs as the 3 seed or the 4 seed, and we'll fucking beat everybody that we play on the road because we're that good and we're playing for DeMar. Because realistically, like, how do you now go into this game on Sunday, right? Like, again, it's Tuesday, right? It'll be Thursday when this comes out. But what Jim Murray said, to his point, and he goes, not to be morbid here, but if this poor kid dies on Friday or Saturday,
they can't play.
How do you expect them to play on Sunday?
They're not playing.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't.
No fucking way.
Like, there's a very real possibility that this game on Sunday doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's things that are bigger than football.
Absolutely.
And there are things smaller than football. And that includes the 1 or the 1 seed versus the 3 seed.
Yeah.
Don't matter.
Right. This team is really fucking good. It doesn't matter what seed they are in the playoffs.
Nope. All it means is that if they are a 3 and the 2 moves on, then they're playing on the road.
Right.
And if that 2 is Cincinnati, then I guess we'll see.
Right.
Ooh, wouldn't want to go into the jungle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, if Cincinnati does end up playing Buffalo, take the over. Take the over in that game. There's going to be some fucking points because Buffalo is going to go nuts. Stephon Diggs might get 17 catches in that game.
Yeah, I'm just... it would be great to see him, like... See, like, and this is the other thing, too, is, like, I don't know what the timeline's going to be. Like, I don't want anyone rushing anything, but, like, he ain't leaving the hospital anytime soon.
Right.
Like, that's for sure going to take a while. And it's like, I don't even know when. So I think he has a heart rate right now.
He has a pulse. He's not breathing on his own.
Okay.
Last I saw, he wasn't breathing on his own. That was like this afternoon. He was on a ventilator.
I'm sorry, if there's no progress, how do they get up and play?
Yeah. And you know what? I don't blame them. They shouldn't have to. If there's no progress, they shouldn't have to play that game. And that's what Jim Murray had said. He was like, there's a chance they just say, fuck it, forfeit both games. like you said, we'll take 2 weeks off. We'll get right. We'll come back for the playoffs, and then they're playing for Demar. Like they have something and someone to play for, and like this team being that good, watch out.
Yeah, and it's like, so the only other thing though is if so, let's say unfortunately if he does pass, and the NFL goes, all right, well you still got that game Sunday, and it's like, yeah, we ain't gonna play, and they're like, all right, well, we can delay that game because your teammate died, but we got that other game too that we still don't know when we're gonna play that, so it's like,
Right.
What are we going to do here? And they're like, fuck it, we don't care.
Right. And
then the NFL hands them a forfeit.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
That would not be a good look. No matter how badly Buffalo could come out and say like, hey, the NFL wanted us to do whatever. They were willing to work with us, and we are just going to forfeit. We're going to go to his services. We're going to regroup, and we'll see you in the wild card round.
Yeah.
That is not good enough.
Yeah.
It is not. And that's assuming
right,
like the worst case.
Right.
Now, best case would be, he regains his breathing, still probably in the hospital because we're talking too short a time frame.
Yep.
Like he's going to be there for a while. But if he starts regaining his breathing or his condition improves and they go, we're happy that he's improving, we are not playing.
Right.
Like the NFL said that we could maybe reschedule. We are not interested. We will forfeit this game. There's things bigger than football.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like whatever. And I don't know if you can do a no contest situation. Like, I don't know, like, cause maybe Kraft on the other hand goes, well, we don't want to win that we didn't deserve. I don't know if you do shit like that. So it's like, okay, no contest. Well, now how do you figure this out? Because we got like half game situations or the playoffs, whatever.
Right. Right.
So I don't know. I mean, as much as I would like for them to say, fuck it, forfeit both of our games. We don't fucking care. We ain't playing. I think that's a very, very big PR nightmare for the NFL. Even though it's a layup for them, because Buffalo's saying, this is what we want, this is what we want to do. And the NFL is going to go, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they wanted to send him back. They were giving him 5 minutes.
Oh, God, yeah.
So they did this whole rundown.
Oh, but Troy Vincent said no, he didn't.
Yeah, yeah. So they did this whole rundown on Felger and Maz today again. So they talked about this, right? And Jimmy Stewart, who's the producer of the show, chimed in and said that Joe Buck is a consummate professional. He would not sit there and say, because he said it multiple times during the broadcast, they're giving both teams 5 minutes to warm up again. He was like, Joe Buck would not say that unless he got that information from somewhere. And apparently he was on a podcast or did an interview with the New York Post today. And he said that he got that information from John Parry, who's like the referee that they call in. He's like the Dean Blandino, of the ESPN. So John Parry is a former ref that retired and is now like the in-game consultant guy. So then come to find out John Parry got that because he was in direct contact with the NFL. So someone in the NFL in those ranks told both teams you can have 5 minutes to warm up and get ready to play. Now, in their defense,
that's protocol.
That's protocol. And that's what they said on the show today. They said anytime anyone gets injured on the field long enough where they need to be taken off on a stretcher and drive the ambulance on, whatever, standard protocol is they give the teams 5 minutes to warm up and go back to play. So is it a really bad look on the NFL today, right? In hindsight? Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
It's a worse look.
That's standard procedure.
It's a worse look.
What?
Lying about it.
Yes.
Because Troy Vincent came out today and said, no, I didn't. I've never said that.
Yeah. All he had to do right? All he had to do was say, standard NFL procedure is this. We were just following procedure. We were unaware of,
the severity,
right? We were unaware of the effect. Like, you can defer, right? Like, because we weren't in the stadium, we were unaware of the direct effect of the individual players, and like, you can blow smoke that way, like, and be fine. You can't lie about it. You can't sit there and be like, no, I never said that. You did say that. And that's what I mean.
No one
like,
fucking trusts you anyway.
Right. And that's what I mean. Like, it's okay if they had just come out and said, yeah, we did say that because that's standard operating procedure. That's what we do in that situation. And again, we were unaware of the severity and the effect on both teams. We sincerely apologize. However, that's our procedure, right? And ultimately, that you can even take the high road there in that statement and say, ultimately, we're proud of the two teams for making the decision that they did, right? You can stand behind the teams. Like, you can at the same time apologize, admit to fault, and then also stand behind the decision that was made of the two teams on the field. But they didn't do any of that. They just lied.
Yeah, or you can lie and now everyone fucking hates you further.
Exactly. So it ultimately was Zach Taylor and Sean McDermott that decided. Like, because when they announced that they were going to have 5 minutes to warm up, the camera showed Zach Taylor walked across the field. So he walked across the field, stood there, talked to Sean McDermott, and the refs came over. And then Zach Taylor walked away. And then Sean McDermott turned around, looked at his team, and did one of these, like, waved his arms in the air. And then the whole team ran into the locker room. And then the Bengals went into the locker room too. And they were like, that's it. Like, we're going to the locker room. So then everyone, like, the announcers really didn't know what was going on. So they were saying, like, well, the teams are going to the locker rooms to regroup. Maybe we'll get back out here at some point. And then while both teams were in their locker rooms, they met again. Zach Taylor walked into, I think Joe Burrow went with him. I think they both walked into the Bills locker room and spoke again. And I think at that point, that's probably when they decided, like, we're not playing this game. And so the NFL, the league, was like, well, yeah, have 5 minutes to warm up and get back to the game. And it was the two teams that were like, we're not playing this game.
Yeah. So, and then the NFL releases a statement. Oh yeah, we're going to suspend the game.
Yeah.
That's because your players won't play.
Exactly.
Because they're the fucking smart ones.
Yeah. So good on the players. Good on the coaches, right? Good on the refs. Everyone.
And good on every single person that's contributed to Demar Hamlin's charity of choice.
Yeah.
They did like 3 million.
Yeah.
In minutes.
Yeah. I saw 3-year Letterman posted that. He put it on Twitter.
They did like 100K in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. 3-year Letterman put it out and goes, obviously, if you've been following long enough, we love 3-year Letterman, and you probably know his deal that he's, a satire king and all this other shit. But he put it out there and was like, there's not much that we can do right now other than, hope for the best and pray, or whatever he said. But he goes, the one thing we can do is donate to this charity. And he shared the link to the Demar Hamlin. Did. Yeah.
That's the thing is it's toys and stuff. It's for shit for kids.
Yeah, so. It's for kids. So it's it gives you a small little bit of hope that maybe there are still some good people left out there.
Oh, well, it's amazing too, because the goal of the GoFundMe was like 25K and they did 100 in minutes.
Yeah.
And now it's 3 million.
Yeah. Yeah, which is just wild.
Yep.
So, like I said, it gives you a small speck of hope for humanity.
Don't worry, that goes away.
Yeah, it goes away pretty quickly.
If you pay enough attention, it goes away.
Well, yeah, it goes away when you go on Twitter and everyone's like, "Oh, you just dropped normally." Oh. It's like, "Oh, don't do this. Don't do this."
Well, everyone's a doctor.
Yeah.
And then everyone's a vaccine expert.
Yep.
And then everyone thinks they should have played, and now they're worried about their fantasy football leagues. And
yeah, people tweeting about fantasy. And then you have the other people that are like tweeting for no reason. It's quite literally old man yelling at a cloud, except yelling into nothingness on Twitter, being like, see, this is why I won't let my kids play football. Like,
no one asked.
No one asked. Like, literally no one asked. No one gives a fuck. Like, imagine that. Like, you go on Twitter and you tweet, see, this is why I won't let my kids play football.
Yeah.
Like, what a fucking cunt.
Yep.
Like, no, like that was completely unnecessary. Like, this is not like time and a place, right? It's not the place or the time. You're just a fucking piece of shit.
Or even better, the fake sensitive people. Because like David Chow said, he goes, impact of the chest, heart issue. He goes, the football field is honestly the second best place to collapse because there's so many medical personnel around.
Yeah.
And all this shit. And I can probably see that my nose is now bleeding.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Fuck. And then people are like, oh, Doc probably should have deleted that last part. It's like, why?
Yeah.
It gives people a realistic like thought that like, he just went down. Like, is he gonna be okay? It's like, well, if he's gonna be okay, he's in the second best opportunity to be okay.
Right.
So,
yeah,
I don't fucking know. Let me grab a tissue. Really
clean yourself up. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting, right? And like I was saying before, no one gives a fuck about your fantasy league, right? Like I did, have the conversation with Nick, who's our shout out to Nick, friend of the show. He's our commissioner, and I was like, hey, what do you want to do? Because it's actually me and him are playing each other in the championship this week, and I truthfully, like, whatever, like he was winning, and I had Joe Burrow. He had Jamar Chase, but it doesn't matter, right? Like, if he wants to call it and say he won, he can win. I can take second place. Like, it's not like at this point, like, I don't really give a shit, right? Like, I don't really care. But I would never put that on Twitter, right? Like, I would never put that out and be like, oh, my fantasy. It's like, no, I just texted Nick because he's the commissioner. It just so happens that I'm also playing against him this week in the title game. But like, realistically, like, what does it matter whether I get first or second? Like, I still win something, right? So I don't know. People are just fucking assholes. Like, they have to make everything about them, right? That's really at the end of the day what it is people are trying to make everything about them.
Yep.
So all right. You want us to wrap this up?
Yes, I do actually.
Yeah.
my nose is bleeding.
Yeah.
So we had an issue with Disney Plus, which resulted in Michaela having to make a new username, which allows me now to watch the Netflix Marvel stuff again. So I'm watching Daredevil season 2. I plan on watching Daredevil season 2 and then The Punisher season 1. I don't think I need to watch season 2, and I might spin back through Defenders. I don't know. It's like a lot.
Yeah,
13, 50-minute episodes. It's a fucking lot.
It is a lot.
So part of what rewatching does is I'm always on Wikipedia and looking at who's a cast member and shit like that. Just I always do it. I do
the same thing. Yeah. I do the exact same thing.
So it kind of got me onto the Thunderbolts a little bit. I don't know how. Just clicking links. Yeah. So the Thunderbolts movie comes out in 2024, and it's not an Avengers movie. It's Thunderbolts. So via casting, we already know some people. Winter Soldier, Ghost from the second Ant-Man, John Walker, Yelena, the Red Guardian, also from Black Widow. That was David Harbour. Yep. And then the Taskmaster, which was also Black Widow, I think, right?
It was, yeah.
So we got 3 from Black Widow. We got the Winter Soldier and Walker, which were in Falcon the Winter Soldier, and obviously Bucky's been in other things. And then Ghost, which is an odd inclusion. Then historically, we've also seen Zemo, who was revisited in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Elaine from
Seinfeld.
Yep, she's like the Baron Contessa, fucking D Fontina,
Barefoot Contessa.
Yeah, she got like 16 names, too many names. So Elaine is in it. I don't exactly know what her role is. I'm sorry. So Elaine's definitely in it. Zemo, I don't know yet. Yeah. I think he should be because he was brought back for a reason, I assume.
Right. Yeah.
And he's got the helmet or like at least the mask, whatever. Hawkeye historically has been a Thunderbolt, and it's some iteration. There's like 7 of them. There's a lot.
Yeah.
One was a fucking banger, but I doubt we'll see that. So Hawkeye could be in it, but I don't know if we'll see it because I don't see Kate Bishop as a Thunderbolt member. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
No, that hasn't been confirmed, so I don't know, but I think that would have to be Jeremy Renner's character, which also he is not in great shape right now.
Nope.
But also his character, I think he was being retired and was moving on to Kate Bishop as Hawkeye.
Right.
And she doesn't strike me as a Thunderbolt, so I don't see that happening. So then kind of led me, because I was obviously on Wikipedia, like, who are these members? Now, I don't know who most of these members are. And obviously it's 2023. They're going to be trying to get like a mix of men and women. The only problem is they haven't introduced enough women. So I'm going to give some people that I would like to see in a Thunderbolt movie. And I'm going to be taking out most of the women because I don't think their characters are very strong. But it's not because I hate women. It's just because of the characters that have been presented to me.
Right. So what I'm getting here is you hate women. All right.
Nailed it. Because Taskmaster, that was not a good character.
No, it was not.
Yelena's fine. She could stay. She could go. I think she's going to be the leader, so she's probably staying.
Yeah.
Ghost did nothing for me.
No.
In Ant-Man.
No.
Nothing. So, I would probably take out Ghost, David Harbour. Now I understand why he's there. It'll be funny and fun and whatever.
Yeah.
But I'd probably take out Ghost, Red Guardian, and Taskmaster. I would make sure Zemo is in fact in. And then my pool of people. I have 5 people that I don't have a power ranking or anything, but the Green Goblin, who has obviously made a return.
Right.
Venom, who has 2 movies and should be getting somewhat involved somewhere. Deadpool, probably not going to happen.
Probably
even
not.
Though that would be fucking phenomenal.
That would be amazing, yeah.
Punisher.
Yes. 1000%,
I would say
yes.
There's an outside chance there because 1, he doesn't work with other people. 2, he is coming back. He's supposed to be in the next Daredevil thing.
Right.
But I don't know if that's going to come out in time for Thunderbolts.
Right.
So I would assume he's not going to be. And then I think Elektra could fit. It's a little weird because she became the Black Sky. So it would be like almost like kind of like.
Yeah.
Almost like a landfill situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, hey, Elektra's here. It's like, yeah, remember that time we tried to all kill her? No, that didn't happen.
Yeah. Nope.
That's someone else.
No, it's a different universe.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think realistically, if I'm gonna pull 3, I think it would be sick to have Venom, the Punisher, and the Green Goblin. I just don't see Deadpool. I don't see Elektra. I also don't see how the Green Goblin would fit that either. Truthfully,
no.
It's just I would want to see it
from a feasibility contract standpoint. They won't have Venom because he's still
owned elsewhere.
He's owned by Sony. So
he was in a post credit though.
Yeah, that might just be a post-credit thing, or I don't know what they're doing there.
I don't either.
They're, which also I guess would fall under the Green Goblin as well, because he's a Spider-Man villain. So what they're trying to do, and we'll see, because we'll see how Blade does, because I think no, Blade is Marvel. But what they tried to do was Sony tried to reclaim Spider-Man and then create a Marvel universe that's a Spider-Man universe. So like all of the characters that they own, they wanted to do the same, which is why they came out with the Morbius movie. So Morbius is a Spider-Man character. So they were trying to like lay the groundwork for a Spider-Man universe. But then Morbius fucking bombed because it wasn't a good movie. So I don't know if they pivoted from that at all. But I know Venom has done very well because Tom Hardy is fucking great. And Venom is just a good character. Morbius isn't the greatest character. And I'm also not the biggest fan of Jared Leto. So, you know, it is what it is there. But so just from, like I said, from like a contract feasibility standpoint, I don't think they'd be able to do Venom and Green Goblin.
Yeah, no, none of this.
But I agree with you. I think those are the best choices.
Well, it's the other thing is like, so not for nothing, all these people are already casted. So it's like, it's happening. It's just, here's what I would do.
Right.
If it were me.
Yeah. That's not how I would cast it.
The lowly strength coach.
Yeah.
Here's how I would cast a movie.
Yeah. All right.
We do need more Frank Castle.
We do. We do. I actually just watched an episode of his podcast. He had Julian Edelman on his show, and that was pretty good. I listened to that. He's got a decent podcast. Some of his shit though is weird. John Bernthal. It's called Real Ones. It started out as like trying to like fucking bring people together type of deal. So like his very first episode on his podcast was a member of the Bloods and a cop from Baltimore. And like they ended up relating with each other and sharing stories and becoming friends. And now they're going on like a fishing trip and they're going to, you know, film it and do all this shit. And it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that. That's his shtick. Yeah, it's fine. But like occasionally he'll just do a podcast with someone famous, and that's what he did with Julian Edelman. And it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. So my final thought is Amy and I have become obsessed with the Foreplay Pod crew from Barstool. And now again, if you've been following this show long enough, you know I'm not the biggest fan of Barstool. But these guys in particular they're not like the cookie cutter like Barstool people. And actually, truthfully, they're not on the show, right? I'm basically just watching them play golf. I don't listen to their podcast. I watch them play golf on YouTube. So two things. I've never been a big YouTube guy, and I've never been a big Barstool guy. And now all I do is watch Barstool guys play golf on YouTube. So it started with the Breaking 100 series with Trent. And that was really fucking good. We got through, I think it was seven or eight episodes of that. And then
did he break 100?
He did. Yeah.
Then you got through 8.
Yeah. So then we just went right into the Breaking 90 series.
Not good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not as good as Breaking 100. It's more frustrating than anything because he's so fucking bad at putting.
No, there's a lot. I'm glad you've seen this shit because now I can yell and it at least makes sense. He plays the wrong tees. He plays courses that are way too hard.
Yeah, so I looked up some of the courses. Like
Ridiculous.
the slope on some of these courses was like 137, like
Ridiculous.
135. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Isn't Sharon like a 128?
129.
129.
Yeah, 129.
Sharon's a 129, and that's a hard course. And I looked at the slopes on these courses, and it's like 137 was one of them. And I was like, this course is way too fucking hard for him to be playing on this course. And they play from like 6,400 yards. Yeah. And it's like, that's way too long.
It's way too long. He plays the wrong tees. The courses are too hard. They bounce around a little too much. I know they've started repeating a couple.
Yeah.
But it should be a public course that he can play whenever.
Right.
He doesn't know how far his clubs go.
No.
So his approach game is fucking awful.
Everything is short.
Everything's short.
Everything is
always short.
Yeah.
And then it's just the same shit over and over.
There's the one hole
practice.
at Rockville, the par 3. I think, what is it, the 15th hole? No, the fifth hole at Rockville. He just can't get over it.
But he doesn't practice, so yeah. I don't know what the fuck he wants.
Yeah. So I think we are like 8 episodes through the Breaking 90, and I think there's 12 total right now. But I've started watching some of the other things. Like, so Amy and I
the travel stuff's good.
Yeah. So I watched the travel stuff. Like, I started watching the Bandon Dunes episodes. There's 4. I think there's 4 episodes of them at Bandon Dunes. The first one I watched was the trail course, which was fucking unbelievable. But I can see after watching, so then I watched Pacific Dunes, and then I think they did Old MacDonald, and then they did like Bandon Dunes. So I've only gotten through the trail course and Pacific Dunes, but you can see how much different the trail course is than even just Pacific, and I would imagine that's what the other ones are like too. But it's so fucking cool. And at one point, I think over the weekend, I texted you and I was like, if I can get down to a 10 handicap, we got to go play Bandon.
Yeah.
And then you responded, we got to play Pinehurst first, which I was like, yeah, that's fair. It's way fucking easier to get to.
Bandon's such a fucking pain in the ass, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not only do we have to fly across the country, it's 2.5 hours to the closest airport.
Right. Right.
And an hour and 45 of that is nothing. And I mean, fucking nothing.
Yeah. Legitimately nothing.
Like the woman who drove Pat the Lefty from the airport to the resort, they were like 45 minutes in. She goes, oh, you need to stop? They're like, no, we just kind of have been going. She goes, yeah, well, there's nothing from here to the resort. So if you need to stop, that's it.
Yeah, this is the only time.
Like, okay.
All right, got it. So yeah, the other thing that I started watching, which I'm kind of pissed about, honestly, is the Fixing Frankie. I know this was my final thought before. There's only been one episode. It's been like 3 weeks, and they've only put out one episode of Fixing Frankie.
Yeah, they don't release consistency.
So I've been waiting for this fucking Scott Fawcett episode for like 3 weeks, and it's nothing. So that's pretty fucking sick. But
that's also part of the issue too with like the Breaking 90 series, because Breaking 100 came out once a week for 8 weeks.
Yes.
Breaking 90 is like way more sporadic, and I'm like, it's not interesting anymore. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, break 90, don't break 90. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Right. Right.
And I'm not rooting for him anymore either.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's been a couple other things that I watched. Like, I watched some of like the TaylorMade series stuff, like when they had like the driver lesson with Rory, and when they played DJ Lefty, and then Harry Higgs taught them like course management and stuff. Yeah. So like I'll watch some of that stuff on my own because I find it interesting. Like Amy really wouldn't enjoy Harry Higgs talking about course management, but we do watch the Breaking 90 series and together. So, and she likes it. She enjoys it. Like, you know, she's
the other thing that pisses me off with the Breaking 90, and I know so I stopped watching. So I probably watched, I don't know, 6. And I know he didn't do it because when he does do it, it's going to be all over Twitter.
Yeah. Did you see when When did you stop after the second time when they did Rockville back to back?
I think I remember, dude. I gotta be perfectly honest. Like,
well, so that's the thing. Like you said, it's spread out. So one of the episodes they said, so they played Rockville back to back, and then I just watched the one after that, which I think is the 8th episode, and they said it was like August 11th or whatever. In that episode, they were like, "Yeah, it's hot. Like today's August 11th, like whatever the fuck they said." So episode 8 was August 11th, and episode 12 just came out like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So there's only been 4 episodes between the middle of August and fucking Christmas.
Yeah. I just started getting too annoyed because now I don't feel as though he deserves to break 90. Because I don't think he does the things that he should do.
Right. There's been a few things, and like it's funny because Amy will notice it and she'll point them out where like he is just lined up wrong. Like he's aimed way fucking left and the ball goes way left, or like on on his approach shots or tee shot, whatever, but also like on his putting. Like she'll pick up on it and she'll be like, he's gonna miss this putt because he's lined up way off the fucking cup and it just goes not even close. So it's funny when someone like Amy, who's literally only golfed 3 times in her life, can pick up on that, but he can't figure it out. Man, he is so fucking bad at putting.
Oh, it's so annoying too.
Yeah. But
well, I was rooting for him at one point. I'm not rooting for him anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, part of me was like, oh, we should try and get him on the show. But then like, I bet that's going to be a fucking hassle. Cause I bet you have to deal with like Barstool bullshit. Like if they want to do other stuff, like I wouldn't be surprised. And I know it's just Trent, right? Like he's not, it's not Dave, it's not fucking Big Cat or any of those guys. But like, if he ever came back and was like, oh, I have an appearance fee, I'd be like, that would kind of ruin it for me. But
yeah.
I did think about it, like just reaching out to him and be like, hey man, would you want to come on this podcast? Mostly because like I feel his pain, which is also really funny. And I said this to Amy the other day, and I go, sometimes when I watch this, I feel like it's me and Bob, because you're a lefty, Frankie's a lefty. He's pretty fucking good. I think he got down to like a 5 handicap at this point. And Trent is just kind of like middling and nothing. And I'm like, this is literally this is how it goes. Like when me and Bob play, like you're watching us play right now.
The only thing that just pisses me, again, I'm like, I'm thoroughly convinced, and dude, it's not because I'm smart or it's not because I'm good. It's because I've played a shitload of golf. I really feel like I could get that guy to break 90 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Now I might need to put him on a simulator or something so I can get yardages, but like, dude, he does not hit the clubs as far as he thinks he does.
No.
He lays back on tees where now he can't reach.
Right.
I'm like, you got this all fucking wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't understand why he plays from such a long distance.
I don't either. I don't know.
Yeah. Like there's no need to play 6,400 yards.
Not when you can't break 90.
Yeah. Like what did I say I played at Kapalua?
61.
61. I played 6,100 yards. Like, I mean, I know I play Chimawa most often just because it's down the street from my house, but like that's a short fucking course. That I think that might be like, I don't even know.
Let's see. So
5,400
again,
yards.
this is how I would do it. You want to break 90 from the blue tees? Do it from the reds first.
Yeah.
Then you do it from the whites.
Right. Right.
And then you do it at an easy course. And then you do it at the like if you ultimately want to break 90, like build some fucking momentum here.
Yeah.
Like all you do is go out and make the same fucking mistake all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he does. It is a lot of the same shit, a lot of the same mistakes. So like I said, it is frustrating at times watching it, but like I said, the big thing is he should just move up. Just move up your tees. Like, it's fine. Like, I've broken move 90 up, a few times.
Hit more club.
Like, I think I've shot in the 80s. I probably shot in the 80s like 4 or 5 times this year. Like, I usually play from the whites. You know, I'm usually somewhere between 58 and 6,200 yards when I play. Like, that's the tee, like the distance range that I shoot for when I play. Sometimes it's a little shorter. Like I said, Chamawa, I think it's like 5,400 yards for 18 because it's so fucking short. But, you know, I usually try and find something within that 58 to 60, 62 range. So
get it together, fucking Trent.
Yeah. So that's it. That's going to do it for us. So thank you for watching on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, like, rate, review wherever you're at, whether you're an audio only guy or a YouTube guy, whatever you're doing. Leave us a review on Apple and Spotify. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. We're on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks. Facebook page is Sarcasm Speaks. Website, sarcasmspeaks.com. Go to the merch store, buy some merch. Get whatever you want with our logo on it. Big shout out to grillyourassoff.com. You go to grillyourassoff.com, use the promo code SarcasmPod to get 15% off your entire order every single time you check out. It's a multi-use coupon. So you want to order once a month, you can get 15% off once a month. You want to make one big bulk order every few months, you can use it every single time. So that, I think, is going to do it. So until next time, good night.